Do you debate in your home about who's going to do what and what chores are going to get done in the house? I know that we do. So let's talk about it. Stay tuned.
You don't want to miss it. You're listening to Marriage Mania, where we are audacious, sagacious, and tenacious for the Lord to uphold godly marriages and to raise fervent children who are countercultural and stand for biblical truth.
Welcome back. I'm Tania.
And I'm Michael.
And today, let's talk about this because this is a big topic, especially when you first get married, but you want to have that consistency all through your marriage. Who does what in the house? What chores? And what is the expectation in the home? Does one get frustrated because maybe they feel like they're doing too much and the other feels like they are doing a lot as well? And so everybody stays quiet about it. And then one day you just kind of blow up and you're like, why aren't you helping with this or that? So I want to talk about this because this is super important to your marriage. It really is. I know when we first got married, we established some kind of rules and we figured out who had the best skills on doing what, like who's the best cook in the house.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Most definitely.
Who's the best person to keep the lawn taken care of? That's you.
That would probably be me. Yeah.
I can't. I don't want to cut grass at all.
I did that for a living, so to speak, as a kid.
Yeah, and you do such a great job. And I don't even want to take that job. But let's get into the dishes and all of the other things inside. I know that we kind of split up the work, but most of the inside I try to do, but you also take a lot of it. You do like the dusting and stuff because I tend to have like bad allergies and it causes me to go into these like coughing fits or whatever.
Cleaning the cat litter, kind of for the same reason.
Well, that was because when we were first pregnant, I was like, and that job kind of ended up being your full-time job. Yeah. So you are now the cat litter cleaner because we have two amazing cats and you take really good care of them.
When we first had, you were talking about when we first had a child, and when you're pregnant, evidently there's a very small risk of dealing with poop when you're pregnant. And if the poop happens to have some microorganism parasites and it can interfere with so it's like it's best if there's somebody else in the house. It's not a huge risk, so if you're like the only person in the house, it's not that big a deal. Just be careful, and wash your hands and use gloves or something. But if there's somebody else in the house that can do it, they suggest having somebody else clean the litter instead of somebody who's pregnant, and so that's fell on me.
Yeah, so
not my biggest joy in life.
That continues
we do chores we don't like
as your role. I think that's good. And who makes the bed? Those things. Who washes the clothes? Who cleans the dishes? Who puts the dishes away after they're cleaned from the dishwasher? Who sweeps the floor? Those kind of things. And it's super important to really outline that. Because I don't know, maybe there's a woman out there that loves to cut the grass and she's like the best grass cutter. I don't know. And the husband doesn't really like it. And so
or doesn't have the time, or
right. So, and then you got the chores of like maintaining the money, like the checkbooks and stuff like that. I don't.
I'm a detailed person, so we've kind of found out, since you don't like the details, you're a more high level kind of
it's
person.
It's my old job kind of title, like give me the high level. So yeah,
right. So if something requires details are really important for something, then I know that's probably a task I ought to take on because the details are really important here.
I don't like details,
but if details aren't as important in some task and it needs to be done quickly, maybe Tania does that.
That's me.
Right, because she can get stuff done really quick. She's very high level. I can get bogged down in details, even if the details don't matter, because I'm just a bit of a perfectionist. So that can be how we divide it. So I like keep all the financial records because I know I'll be very detailed in the finances and keeping a budget. Yeah,
that's why
the checkbook and so I do that detail work. And so.
Yeah, that's why we have those finance podcasts with all the details in there that we talk about. But, we're talking about chores and how to do that. And it's super important when you first get married just to really identify what those skills are, because it could be a really conflicting situation if one feels that they are carrying 90% of the chores but hasn't communicated about them. And so it is super important to say, okay, you are best at this. I'm best at that. Like, I cook and I am the cook in the house. And I honestly, I think Michael can heat up some of the food that we have from the previous day or cook maybe some breakfast. But really, I am the cook. And so he's not going to take that role. That is my responsibility in the home. And also,
as a single person, I never cooked. If anything, I just throw in a microwave or cereal, or I was a bit of a vegetarian for just eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and just something I could get done as quickly as possible. So I never really developed the skill or the desire to cook. So,
it brings me back when we first started dating. I think I had given you a surprise to go to that cooking place. It's like, I can't even remember the name of it, but it was a place where they showed you how to cook and you had to prep all your meals. And I remember you just didn't seem like, I think you were trying to make me happy or something because I got you this gift. And I mean, later I found out that you did not like it, but you just seemed very
well, I liked it because I was with you. That was the whole point, is just being with you and doing,
right. But you were confused on all the ingredients and what to do. You're like, this isn't my thing. But we can't take on the chores that we just don't have the giftings for. Like, I am not going to be outside cutting the grass. I am not going to be.
I think I remember you saying when you were single, you had to cut the grass and you went out there crying while you were cutting. That's so sad.
I did.
Finally, your neighbor finally said, "No, I got a grass guy," and you started hiring him or something.
Yes, and we love him, and we wish we still had Danny.
He was so economical.
He was amazing, but
for the first time in my life, I didn't have to mow lawns but
Danny was great. He talked so loud that the whole neighborhood could hear, and yeah, it was such a great thing. Yes, I cried because my neighbor saw me and was like, "Hey, oh my gosh, are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I am not cut out for this. I'm not cut out for cutting the grass." And, some women are, and good for you, but I'm not. And she's like, "Oh, let me give you Danny's number." And it was so wonderful to come home to grass being cut. It was beautiful. Mm-hmm. But now I don't even have to worry about it. Even now, I don't worry about the grass. And Michael, you don't worry about the cooking or the cleaning when it comes to washing clothes and folding clothes. I just kind of put that up there and I put away what I need to. And I know that you may not like how I fold certain things, but hey, I'm trying to get things done. I am trying my hardest to get through the process. There's a lot to do in the house, always with
and we divide up homeschooling too. We homeschool.
Yeah, we do, and I'm so grateful for that, because
you probably do the line share. You do a good, probably more than I do with homeschooling, because you get the curriculum and stuff, but we do divide up a good.
I think we're 50-50 because
portion of it.
You do a lot of the English and you do all of our Bible teaching and memorization and geography, checkbook, all kinds of things. And I'm mostly big topics, math, and I do other things like art or whatever, science, things that we need to get done, or if we're traveling or whatever. I'm actually the person that carries our child to different sports and different activities. There's like,
we go to a lot of those together.
A lot together, but some we do not, and it's could be overwhelming.
Well, a lot of that was the precedent of like going to music, and you were visiting the friends that were there at the same time. So there was really nothing for me to do while you were visiting them. So I'm like,
you read a book or something.
And there was nothing to watch our daughter because she's in the lesson or whatever. So, it's those kind of things you just take into consideration. And, as long as you're talking about these things, you're coming up with an agreement, everybody's content and happy with the way things are divided up. And if you can divide chores up with skill sets, with people and personalities and what people are good at, and kind of avoid, it's like, I like mowing the lawn and making it look nice, and you hate it. I mean, that's an obvious choice. I'll mow the lawn. You like to cook. I think it wears you down because there's a lot to do that's involved, but I think you like it. I don't really like to cook, so that's why
you like to eat it.
I like to eat it. She's a fabulous cook. I definitely like to eat what she fixes, and so
you like to eat it.
And so, cat litter, it's just not it wasn't healthy for you to do.
Yeah, I help out every now and then.
I do the cat litter and finances since I'm a detailed person. I do that. So if you can kind of structure the chores in a way that's with your skill set and your desire, then that's fabulous. If the struggle, I guess, comes when there's a chore that both of you hate. Who's gonna have to do it, or how to divide up things.
I don't think you like dusting, really.
I don't like dusting.
But you sacrifice for me,
right?
Because you're like,
it's got vacuuming and dusting. I don't like either one of them. I'm not sure either one of us likes either one of them. It's one of those things that's like, you do one, I'll do the other. You vacuum,
I'll vacuum. Yeah.
And it's like we just have to bear through it.
But I think the main point here, and this is more probably for recently married couples, or maybe you're still struggling in your marriage because you're trying to figure out, I feel like I'm doing so much and I feel like he's not doing enough. Maybe this kind of puts that in perspective to really think about it, because it's really down to communicating and talking about, hey, I feel like I'm taking on these tasks in the house. Is there any way maybe you can help me with this task? And I think that kind of opens the door to talk about like your communication and just taking some of those things off of your shoulders to help.
And we need to be welcome to receive that when somebody comes to that with that. So obviously somebody's feeling they're doing more, and that can build up some resentment. So I need to be open to maybe taking on an additional chore or two in order to,
and I think
level that out.
I think we just recently talked about that, because as the cook of the house, I am a little bit bad about this, but I do try to get the whole family to get downstairs and get ready to eat at a certain time. And when it's time to eat, everything needs to be ready, but the table's not cleaned, or we need to put plates out. And so I think we were just recently talking about how we need to make sure the plates are set, the table's clean, and everything's ready to go.
Me and our daughter are supposed to be the ones that kind of set up the table and clean out the table from use the kitchen table
because the chef is
for homeschooling and crafts. And so that has to be cleaned off. And then, me and our daughter are the ones that clear the table afterwards and put it in the dishwasher, to try to even out the fact that,
but there's
cooked
still
everything.
Pots still,
yeah,
that
there's
we
some
need
things
to,
like, I don't know what to do with
some
this.
things
where does
we
this
still
go?
have to
I don't know
figure
where
out.
you got this. I don't know where it goes back.
Yeah, some things we just still have to figure out, but that's all part of the process in marriage. But just to get really serious about this, it's really important to identify those skills in your home, because ultimately we're building up the home. Ultimately, it's about just having that unity and knowing that we all have a role in the home, the biblical wife, the biblical husband. But not just that, we're also modeling that for our children so that they can understand that it's not all on the mom to do this. It's not all on the dad to do this. There's teamwork that's happening, and teamwork is super important as we are moving through the process of life, because if we don't have good teamwork, then that creates chaos in the home. And then we feel so much burden on our shoulders because we're trying to accomplish so much with all of the day-to-day tasks.
And chores are a big part of links with success in children. And so it's so important that children do their fair share in the family, and we teach them how to do chores right from the very beginning. Even, when they're 3 and they can barely do anything, you do what they can do at their level. You pick up this piece of clothing and put it away, pick up this toy and put it away. And our daughter was doing the dishes at, I think, like 3 years old at her level, just getting her started, getting used to that fact that, hey, this is your chore. You're helping with putting the dishes in the dishwasher. And right now you're helping me at your 3-year-old level, which isn't much of a help. But what am I doing? I'm training on there's certain chores that you have to do. And that's been linked with success. That when we train our children how to do chores, take out the trash, whether they be mowing the lawn or doing the dishes, things that they can do at their level, it helps train them to be responsible and to recognize that they have a part to play in the family. And so when they enter marriage, they're also recognizing, oh yeah, I got to do my fair share as well. I'm not just sitting back on the couch while the other spouse is doing all the work. We're all doing this together. We're doing this as a team, and hopefully nobody's coming out with any kind of resentment that they're just doing way more than the other person, that we're all doing this together. And that can only happen if we're communicating about it. If there's resentment building up, we need to communicate that. If that's communicated to us, we need to receive it. And the other person can see that we're trying to do something about it, taking on that additional chore, helping out a little bit more, and they see our effort. And that's what can help the family run a lot more smoothly, and dealing with those chores, and so they don't become big issues for conflict.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that we were able to just quickly talk about chores, because that is an important part of marriage, an important part of maintaining the home and modeling that for our children, but also that we have unity in our marriage, because we don't want to have some sort of resentment because we feel like we're carrying too much in the responsibilities of the day-to-day tasks in the home. So we just wanted to share our thoughts on that, and stay tuned as we continue to talk through more on marriage and family. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this podcast. Until next time.
God bless.